process, like a proper process, not just coming here.
I gotcha. Well, the proper process is paying your employees on time. So you don't think they're using the tip money for their service workers to open their new location?
I don't have.
Oh, I think here's one right here. We're Nasty's managers right here.
We don't have any Jeffrey here, maybe.
Yeah, not anymore. You don't have a Jeffrey here anymore because he got fired for having a child. They might as well build a courtroom in the back of their restaurant. The restaurant guests, do they know the tips are being delayed late?
Like I said, you are assuming certain things.
I mean, you read the lawsuit, ma'am. That's what happened. And it happened here, and I'm here because I don't want it to happen to you or anyone in here.
Now, where do you think that money goes?
Hopefully to the employees, right?
What's going on here? Come on.
Honestly, I feel like they're stealing money.
I don't think it's fair.
So we're outside of CVI.CHE 105, guys, which is a Peruvian restaurant, which you can see right behind me there. CVI.CHE 105 has 6 total active locations, and they're in the middle of opening up a 7th location. Their locations are located in downtown, South Beach, Aventura Mall, Dayland Mall, Coral Gables, and Boca Raton, and they're currently opening a new location in Sawgrass, in the Sawgrass Mall in Sunrise, Florida. Now, I've been bombarded by staff members from all of these locations that are saying to me that they're not getting paid on time. Now, CVI.CHE 105 is the first restaurant I'm going to go into that does not have the service charge. This actually, by law, is legally probably the worst offending restaurant that I've been into yet, because allegedly they're withholding the actual tips and gratuity, which restaurants are not allowed to touch in any way, shape, or form, and they're allegedly using that gratuity to open up a 7th location. So I was able to obtain a couple of company emails sent from CVI.CHE 105 to their employees that say exactly what all of the employees who have reached out to me have said, which is that they're getting paid late. And I'm going to go over a couple of these emails with you. So one of these emails says that back in September, dear valued employees, this is like already starts off as like a marketing templated email. You couldn't get any more lazy than this. Please be advised that the payroll schedule for Friday, September 12th, will be processed on Monday, September 15th. For those with direct deposit, funds will be deposited late afternoon on Monday. Employees receiving live checks will have access to their pay stubs on Tuesday, September 16th. We apologize for any inconvenience this delay may cause and appreciate your understanding. Sincerely, administration. And then below that, you have it in Spanish, which if you want to hear my Spanish here, Estimados empleados, les informes que la nomina programa. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm sure you don't even want me to do it. So, you know, a restaurant paying their staff once in a while, a couple of days late, I get it. You know, times are tough. Whatever sob story you want to give me as a multi-million-dollar company in gross revenue as the reason why you're delaying paying your staff the tips that they already earned, which means they should never be paid not on time because they're tips. So they were earned and accrued and deserve to be paid essentially, realistically, across the board in the United States the same day. But for whatever reason, I think I've gotten into it a little bit already, they're not paying their staff on time. So, but we get into a real, which is why I'm here today, another email here, a company announcement, that the pay period of October 20th, 2025 through November 2nd, 2025. So these people get paid bi-weekly, which is insane. Usually a pooled service charge system, you pay bi-weekly. When you don't have a service charge, in this case, especially with CVI.CHE 105, you shouldn't be paying bi-weekly. You should be paying essentially almost when you leave your shift at the end of every single shift if you're getting paid just with tips. They sent another announcement that the pay period between October 20th and November 2nd, 2025, the pay date will be on Tuesday, November 11th, with Wednesday, November 12th being on live checks. So, once again, we apologize for any inconvenience this delay may cause and appreciate your understanding. Sincerely, administration. Estimados empleados, les informamos que debido a circunstancias imprevistas, las próximas 4 nóminas se trasladarían a las siguientes fechas. So, what's interesting here, if you made money on October 20th, you're not getting paid your tip on October 20th until Wednesday, November 12th. So keep in mind, people, that is 24 days later. So some of the staff members at CVI.CHE 105 are getting paid at the latest 24 days later than the tips when they're made, which is insane because I'm sure that the company itself would say no when a guest is dining at the restaurant and says, hey, can I pay my check here at the restaurant 24 days later? Probably they would say, no, you have to pay now. But I guess it's different when you're paying your staff, which we're going to go in and ask them in a couple minutes here. Now, what's most interesting, one of the employees that I spoke with actually insinuated this to me, that, yeah, we're getting paid late, but they are opening a new location, so you know how it is.
Regarding November and December payments during the holidays, the document reads, "Good morning, team. Due to ongoing and unforeseen business circumstances resulting from a slower fall season, we will need to continue processing payroll on the adjusted schedule." Now look at these pay dates. People, this is not normal. We're not even just talking hourly wages here. We're talking tips and gratuity being paid out like this as well. Which when I read that first sentence, due to unforeseen business circumstances resulting from a slower fall season, it makes me go, because gratuity is already paid by the customer. It's done. The customer pays it when they pay their check, meaning the restaurant already has that money. So the first question that obviously comes to mind is, where is that gratuity going then? Is it going to the, quote, unforeseen business circumstances? Which indicates the gratuity is being used for business purposes. Does it not? Because it doesn't matter how slow business is. Tips are paid by the customer when they pay their check. I'm wondering what that money, which was already paid by the customer, is doing for the amount of time it's not being paid to its staff. Where's it going? Where's it sitting? Another question that I have is, does CVI.CHE 105 allow its restaurant guests to pay their own restaurant checks after they're due? I wouldn't think so. Then why is their staff being paid late? If restaurant guests have to pay their restaurant check on time, why do staff not get paid on time? Last time I checked, if I was late on paying one of my bills, I get charged a late fee and or interest also starts accruing. So it sounds a little one-sided. This is my favorite pay period right here too, the Christmas pay period, where if you work between December 15th and December 28th, you'll get paid your gratuity on January 6th or January 7th of the new year. This is so insane in the restaurant industry, considering most servers who don't work in a pooled system actually receive their gratuity the same day they earn it. So what typically happens is that if I served you today at 12 p.m. for lunch and my shift is over at 3 p.m., I actually walk out with the money you tip me when I leave at 3 p.m. That's how the restaurant industry overall in this country has always operated as.
Now, CVI.CHE 105, they might as well build a courtroom in the back of their restaurant with how many lawsuits that they have gone. So I'm going to go over each lawsuit right now in the last 10 years. CVI.CHE 105 was class actioned in December of 2013 for violating the Fair Labor Standards Act, specifically for not paying a minimum wage and overtime pay. They were sued class action for not paying a minimum wage. Now, let's put in the perspective. In 2013, the minimum wage was $4.77 for tipped employees. $4.77, which is the equivalent to, actually, if you go down to the Walgreens right here in the corner, or the CVS at the other corner, White Castle cheeseburgers, 2 White Castle cheeseburgers actually cost more than what they were apparently unable to pay their staff per hour. In May of 2014, CVI.CHE 105 was sued for violating the Fair Labor Standards Act, specifically for unpaid overtime. January of 2015, so literally about a month later, sued again for unpaid overtime compensation, which is a clear violation of the Fair Labor Standards Act. In 2017, Juan Chapico and CVI.CHE 105 was sued again for violating federal overtime and wage laws. I mean, apparently CVI.CHE 105 loves to require people to work overtime hours, but they don't pay the overtime hours, according to these lawsuits. Sued in April of 2019 for violating the Family and Medical Leave Act, where under the Act, employees may take up to 12 weeks of leave during any 12-month period for the birth of a child, and it is unlawful for an employer to take action against an employee because the employee exercises this right. And it was actually at this very location where a manager was allegedly fired, according to this lawsuit, which I actually have in my hand here. They were fired because they were not allowed to take family leave after giving birth to their son. And they weren't allowed to take family leave. And then they were fired. And according to the lawsuit, which is very interesting, which you can see on your screen here, under FMLA, an eligible employee may take up to 12 weeks during any 12-month period for a birth of a child. It is unlawful for an employer to take action against the employee because the employee exercises these rights. The defendants imposed a policy, meaning CVI.CHE 105 imposed a policy that announced no approvals for leave would be accepted between October 2018 to on or about January 21st, 2019, which is literally targeting that one employee. One employee's having a child, and then you just draw out this new company policy in the exact time frame that this employee's having a child. The defendants and defendant's agent discouraged the plaintiff for seeking time beyond 2 weeks after having their child. So I want to get their thoughts on this and on the lawsuit. I'm actually going to give this lawsuit to them here. So where is the Florida Department of Labor on some of these issues? So there's a couple questions that I want to ask them when we go over. Are you using the tips that everyone at all of your 6 locations earn to then subsidize opening your new location? Because that is not their money to use. That is your service workers' money. Oh, it just happens to be that you're opening a new location, you need investments, and all of your staff happen to be being paid late? Sure. So we're going to go in and ask them. How we doing, guys?
Hi.
Is a Juan Chapico available?
He's not here.
He's not. Okay.
He has a lot of restaurants.
Yeah. No, I know. Is he available? Like, I know his office is essentially right across the street.
Like, I think he's not here today.
Now? Is there a manager or someone I can speak with? Yeah, if you can grab him. Because I'd love to ask them some questions. Sure. Friendly face. I'm doing documentaries on restaurants in Miami, and CVI.CHE 105 was chosen. Is this someone here? Is that like Juan's wife or something? Because she's been eyeballing me since we've been walking down the street and then followed me over here.
Really?
Yeah. No? Just gonna pick here. If you pay your staff late every single month, stay silent. You already know. Start recording. Hey, sir, how we doing?
Yes, sir. What's going on here?
Nothing much. You work in the office over there for CVI.CHE 105. So I just wanted to share some of this information. So I do documentaries on restaurants in Miami, and I'm focusing on CVI.CHE 105 right now. And I want to give you a couple of these emails here. So I know that essentially every worker in all 6 locations are being paid late on the tips that they make. I know that this was sent out. I know this is not new to you, and I'm just kind of asking, you know, what is the scoop with this? Are we using the money that is made in tips for the employees here to invest in the Sawgrass location, or what's going on?
I'm not really sure about this information. All of this type of inquiries should be taken to the corporate office.
Is this new to you? Brand new?
Not aware of this.
Do you work in the corporate office?
Well, I'm a third party actually, but like I said, it's usually a protocol or process to get this type of information.
Yeah, I mean, I got it.
I'm sure if you contact them, they should be able to give you some information regarding this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm contacting them now. I mean, I'm at their flagship location. I mean, what do you want me to do here?
Yeah, there is a proper process, like
Okay.
calling, contacting, not just showing up. You know.
Where are they?
In the middle of the service.
Where are they located?
You don't have to.
I do not. I mean, everything under their business location is all here. So, I mean, where can I find them?
If you Google the corporate location, I'm sure it should come up. Also the numbers as well. And the website should come up the corporate number.
Well, this was this. I mean, if you work in that office, can you provide that with me or no?
I'm not in the liberty to do so. Like I said, I'm a third party.
Okay.
But I'm sure that if you look on the website online, the information should be there.
Okay, so you don't know about this right now at all?
No. There is a process, like a proper process, not just coming
Yeah,
here.
I gotcha. Well, the proper process is paying your employees on time. That's the proper process.
But like I've said, you probably, since you don't have that information,
I have it right here.
Well, to assume.
I mean, they're getting paid 24 days later. That's the information I have right here. So that's not proper, is it?
Like I said, there's some papers reading aloud. I don't know what it is. If you want to consult with the
I can read it. I can read it for you here. I mean,
there's no need for that. You can talk to the corporate office. I mean, there is a number, there's an email. You can talk to them. They probably can provide information to resolve whatever issue.
Okay, so you don't think they're using the tip money for their service workers to open their new
I
location?
don't have none of that information. So
Okay.
no problem.
Do you know Juan Chapico at all?
I do.
Can you give him my card? I'd love to speak with him.
Sure.
Does that sound good?
To transfer it to the proper people.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Do the restaurant guests, by the way, you've been in here, do you know? Do they know that the tips are being delayed late?
Okay, you are assuming certain things. I think the proper way is to talk to the corporate office, and before assuming and attacking this behavior, I think that's a proper protocol to do.
Okay, well, sounds good. I appreciate it, sir.
Sure.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Not at all.
You know? All right, I mean, not ideal. Just looking for some answers on why they're not getting paid. Oh, I think here's one right here. We're Nasty's managers right here. Hi, ma'am. Hi, ma'am. Are you a manager here?
One of them, sir.
One of them?
Yes.
I'm just doing a documentary on CVI.CHE 105 here, and I know everyone in this restaurant is getting paid late, their tips, coming from these emails here that show...
All right, got to stop it right here. After filming this, I learned that this manager is actually one of the kindest, sweetest individuals who works for the company. And is also someone who is very likely being paid late and is being mistreated as well. Someone I don't want to feature in this video as being a perpetrator of these exploitive practices that I'm speaking about here. You know, doing this type of work, you got to avoid collateral damage at all costs and not damage an innocent person, sometimes who is also a victim themselves. This is exactly that case. As I've been told, this manager is such a kind-hearted individual. So I wish her nothing but the best. I do hope she can find herself a much better job with an employer who will value her skill set and hard work. And believe me, they're out there and they're all over the place. I did however, just have one more question though on my way out there that I needed to get off my chest.
Well, this is the lawsuit I just want to ask him on this one specifically. He fired a manager here because they tried to take leave when they had a baby. So I would love to ask him that too. If you can give that to Juan, I'm going to leave you with my paperwork here. Yeah, that's the lawsuit. I just want to ask him, I mean, what happened with it, you know?
We don't have any Jeffrey here, maybe.
Yeah, not anymore.
I'm gonna send a...
Okay, you don't have a Jeffrey here anymore because he got fired for having a child. That's why you don't have him there. I mean, you read the lawsuit, ma'am. That's what happened. And it happened here, and I'm here because I don't want it to happen to you or anyone in here.
I'm gonna transfer the
Okay.
documentation.
Thank you. Thank you. Tell Juan to please reach out to me. So, kind of what you expect. Nobody wants to speak with you. Nobody wants to, you know, do anything. Nobody wants to speak with you. They just want to keep everything under the table there. So, kind of what you expect, you know?
If you're an employee anywhere in this country and believe your employer is violating federal labor laws, you should know your rights. The Wage and Hour Division's website is a magnificent source of information where you can find the link in the description of this video. I was looking forward to speaking with the owners of CVI.CHE 105 to obtain answers to my questions here, which are still largely left unanswered. My biggest question is, where does the gratuity and tip money go until it's paid out bi-weekly? Especially, where does that money go to during the time that it's now past the bi-weekly pay period and the payment is now considered late? Which can be up to about 3 weeks in total after receiving the gratuity according to these documents. For example, if you worked and made tips on November 17th, you have to wait until either December 9th or December 10th to receive that tip money. That's literally over 3 weeks to receive that tip money that you made on that shift. I think this is beyond a fair question to ask. People have a right to know where their tip money is going to and to know whether or not it's being commingled into the company's cycle of revenue and expenses and investments. Out of all the late payments I've showed you so far, this amounts to a whopping amount of 35 days in total delayed payments in just a 3-month time period this year. So in a 3-month time period, employees have had their payments delayed over a month in combined delays. Just in time for the holidays. Now, I like to think that the people in that HR office I was at are not bad people. That Juan Chapoco isn't a bad guy. Just people making decisions who will not bear the consequences of those very decisions. Which is why I'm making this video and why I've made this show. You don't get to exploit your own staff members who have no voice for your own personal profit. Google and Oxford Languages defines exploitation as the action or fact of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work. Now, I reached out to CVI.CHE 105's office, their owner, and their team and informed them of exactly the information I've had. Also informing them, I've also stopped into their locations looking to speak with them and asking for a time to schedule an interview about these questions. I always do this to give people the time and place to resolve anything that they deem to be incorrect or not the case. The biggest question that still remains is CVI.CHE 105 using the checks of their minimum wage staff members as their own personal feeder fund for opening new locations? I've yet to receive an answer on this or any communication on this from them. Ironically, there's money in the bank to hire a lawyer to give me a cease and desist letter, but not enough money to pay their own staff on time. Restaurants in the past After reaching out to them prior to me running a story, their owners have actually called me and we've chatted. A ton of really nice, hardworking restaurant owners. I've reached out to them, they respond, we link up, we speak, and I learned more about their location and their practices, and the matter ended up being resolved because there was more of a general understanding, which is why I research and reach out to them. I regret that this hasn't been the case here. I haven't received any communication from them after multiple times. So I want to thank the staff at CVI.CHE 105 for reaching out to me and letting me know what's been going on, because you deserve better and you deserve to work at an employer who values you. You need to know your rights as an employee, and I will include for everyone watching some links to some very valid resources below where you can find some more information on workers' rights. Now, I appreciate you watching. If you want more videos like this, please go ahead and press that subscribe button. I also personally respond to every single comment. So leave me your thoughts on this. I want to hear from you. Do you think this is a fair practice?
Get a life, you lousy, rotten scammers. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You feed on others who have worked and saved their hardest. They believe your lies, so then you think you're smart. But you are not. You're just evil. You need to stop deceiving people. Dear scammers and spammers, you all belong